Before we get started, if you could please place your cell phones on silent or vibrate. Thank you. This is Thursday, February 15th, the Design and Historic Review Commission. We've established that we do have a quorum. Our first order of business is to approve the consent agenda. Do we need to do these separate, or can we do them both together? We have two different ones. Do them together? Okay. It's for the November 16th meeting, 2023, and January 18th, 2024. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Okay. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We will start with our regular agenda meeting. Case number one is CA 24-01, Art Commission, Art in Uncommon Places, Private Property.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sherry Bailey, Principal Planner. I wanted to start focusing on this area of town because that is the area, particularly Chadbourne, where the Art in Uncommon Places is going to place their pieces on the buildings in that area. And it's also really the center of our historic district as it moves up. And so I always call it the heart of the district because it's the area that we first read so much about and get so much input from the public on. That's all in District 3, Harry Thomas's district, and it's bound by Irving, Chadbourne, and Oaks, and Beauregard, Twig, and Concho for the purposes of this meeting. The first piece that we're talking about is on Chadbourne, and it is this piece that will be placed on that building in the window areas. In going through the guidelines for the use of historic properties, particularly for something like this, whether it's signs or pieces of art, there are 10 guidelines that are required that be reviewed as the people are putting up the items. I have those guidelines, and we'll sit down with the art people from Art in Uncommon Places and make sure that they each have a copy and that we kind of go over them. They're common sense guidelines. They're talking about do not damage, do not paint permanently on the building, those kinds of guidelines. But the federal has issued those guidelines, and so we'll be passing them on to them. This is the second one, which is generally in that same area, and it will be using that window also as part of the display. This is the area that's down and over a little bit, and the reason I included the two chairs, it's my understanding that those chairs are actually going to be in the building and seen through the windows.
Those are pianos.
Pianos, I'm sorry. Yes, the pianos.
And they will be inside.
Thank you. Again, this is another, the hotel, this is another one of the buildings in which the art will be displayed in the windows. And this is another one with the 7 cowgirls. This will also be on the Wilde building, and there's a mixture, but it's back far enough that it is in the private area rather than the public area, and so it's included here. This is also in the private area. It's along the fence, the cactus tools, and it will be displayed there. And then this is the mosaic mural that will be on the side of or on the front of the Mann Store building. and the mural in the window. Again, staff is recommending that you as a board approve the placement by the Art and Uncommon Places Group with 3 conditions, and mainly that the colors, dimensions, and materials will be consistent with the renderings that were presented to us, and any minor deviations may be approved by the director. They must obtain all necessary permits where required, and they must have the property owner's permission. And with that, are there any questions? Okay.
So on this, like you said, we're not actually voting on the artwork or any of that.
No.
All we're doing is approving the fact that they can place it on private property
private-
with the owner's permission.
Within the downtown.
Within the guidelines of-
Historic
okay.
area, yes.
Do we need the addresses of each one of those
I-
to be
I-
documented, or?
I think we can be a little flexible with that because I'm not sure that there isn't going to be some shifting as it goes along, but once they're permanently placed, or once they're there, we will take pictures and we will document it that way. We know the general area that it's going to be.
Okay.
And I think the important thing is the fact that these are not going to be permanent structures. They can be moved, they can be changed out. You know, if somebody comes in and buys a building and they don't want that on there, it can be taken off,
Okay.
off of the property. So,
Right.
you know, I think a lot of it, we can bring up the applicant here in a minute, but I
Absolutely.
think a lot of it's just the fact, we have a lot of buildings downtown that are just, the facades are horrible on them.
Exactly.
And I think this right here will really amp it up and clean it up a little better. And I think just the artwork that they're using fits in with the downtown area with the theme of it.
Right.
And that's just my thought, but we'll get with the applicant here in a minute.
All right.
Anybody else have any questions for staff?
So we don't have to approve the art at all?
No.
No.
Because we've approved art before, right? On the side
The
of
art
the
will
other
go to the
building?
Public Art Commission, so there's a board
Okay.
set up specifically
Yeah,
for that.
they do that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, we will open it up for public comment. Does someone here like to come up and speak?
I want to add to what
Yeah.
Rick just said, that we have already taken this project to the Public Art Commission, and they have approved it, as well as the other components that are going to be in the public right-of-way, and that all is going to go to council on next Tuesday.
Okay. Do you want to come up in case we have any questions? Please state your name.
Julie Raymond, and I am the founder and president of Art and Uncommon Places, and happy to be here. This is an exciting project that has been long time been received. This will be a gift of nearly $1 million that Art and Uncommon Places will be giving to the city. This is work that's been produced with the help of W3 prisoners and a bunch of artisans. And we've had engineers, mechanics on this. We went to the Art Commission, a subcommission was produced that we went around to each location. We have talked to the owners, then we've gone back to the Art Commission again. So this has been a long process. And so anyway, happy to have any questions from anybody. I'd be happy to answer.
I have a question. I kind of looked at some of this beforehand. I noticed some of the stuff's not on here. You know, like the
Some of the items.
black tie.
Those are not in private.
Yeah, those are gonna, I'm gonna present those here during the division report as well, so you can
Oh,
see just the
okay,
images,
good, okay.
just to let you know where they're gonna be
Yeah, I mean, I
approximately
knew it,
located.
but I don't know if the rest of
Yeah.
the board knows.
They're just in the public right of way, so
Yeah.
they're not being attached to a building or anything.
Okay, so we're not concerned about that. Okay, just had a question.
Good question, though.
Okay.
Julie, one I didn't really understand, the chess park idea, are those three-dimensional freestanding? or-
They're cement, And we had a letter about a year ago from a gentleman that was interested in that. And we think it'll bring great life to nothing that's happening there. So there's cement, we were going to call him in, and he's going to help us make it tournament worthy, that they could have a tournament if they wanted there. And those also can be removed also.
And what do you see as the lifetime for these works?
The mosaic forever. Most of them we are gonna do the vinyl screen on the windows of that hotel. And now they're wrapping things, and they have, they're wrapping buildings, and they say it'll be there until the duration of the building. So that's what research we continually to do. We keep producing, and a product has the most longevity, and we research that.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
We'll close public comment. Does anybody else have anything, any comments or concerns? Okay, we'll close public comment, open it up to the board. Somebody like to make a motion?
I would move for approval.
Okay.
Okay.
Second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to our next case. CA 23-24, 214 South Chadbourn, review for open-air back patio enhancement as part of TIERS funding. Application for the property at 214 South Chadbourn.
If you remember at the last meeting, you did approve this as the application and presented this basic design. At the time, they indicated that there was another color that they were also considering, and you wanted to see that, so we're bringing that forward. This is the original color, the lighter color, and then what they have looked at is staining the wood to give it a darker look to it. And in talking to them the other day, I think they're kind of leaning now towards the darker color, but would like input from the board if you prefer the lighter or the darker. They would love to hear.
Well, that color there, that has already been approved on another project.
Right,
That-
it's
yes,
just,
so I'm just
it's
saying
just
for
the
the
color
board, that
itself.
color
Yeah,
hasn't been approved. I mean,
no.
yeah, okay. I think it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I think it looks good with that other gray, dark bronze color they're gonna do.
Yes, they're,
Is that the only one we're looking, that's the only thing
Yes,
we're looking at?
yes.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for staff? Okay.
so you're generally okay either way?
Yeah, do we need a vote on this, or?
If you're okay,
Yeah,
unless,
I don't have a problem.
What do you mean by either way?
either the lighter or the darker color.
Are you wanting this darker color, or are you okay with them doing a lighter color if they so choose?
I think I'm fine with that color
So
myself.
this color is what
That
they're
color there.
And we do need an action because at the
Yes.
last meeting, you approved the concept, but not the colors.
Yes,
You wanted to
correct.
see the colors, so
Yeah.
I think we do need an action by the board.
Okay, okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you. We'll open that up for public comment. Does anybody have any questions or like to speak on it? Nope. Okay, we'll close that, open it to the board. So I can get a motion.
So moved.
Okay.
I'll second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, we'll go to case number 3, DD 24-01, a request for approval of exterior illuminated 558-75 square foot sign for New Shannon's Women and Children's Expansion in the downtown district being located at 201 East Harris Avenue.
Good morning. My name is Olga Truman, planning technician, and this request for an approval for illuminated exterior sign located in 201 East Harris Avenue, Shannon Hospital, extension of Children's and Women Hospital. It is Harry Thomas District Number 3 in downtown neighborhood CBD zoning. The sign is 558.75 feet square foot. It is consistent with existing signs around Shannon Medical Center and surrounding area. The sign complements the building, and it displays the name of the facility, and it's an informational sign. There are some details. And staff recommend an approval with two conditions. Color, dimensions, and material should be consistent with what approved today, and obtained all necessary permits. Thank you.
Any questions for
questions?
staff? No? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
I assume this sign has been approved by the sign committee, I guess. Zero. Yeah,
It's not an assigned area. It normally would have been approved administratively, but it hit over a square footage that was not administratively approvable, and so that's why it's coming before you
okay. I
guys.
was wondering why it's coming to our board. Yeah.
500 if it's over 500 square feet?
I think it is over the 500 square feet. Threshold is that the trigger, and that's why y'all don't see a lot of signs, but in this case, it's such a large sign, it does come to you guys for approval.
Plus it's lit. so-
It is lit,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. We'll open up for public comment. Anybody like to speak with this project? Nope. Okay, we'll open up to the board. Get a motion?
Proportional to the building, to me, I don't think it's out of,
Yeah, I mean, it's consistent with everything else, the
Right.
sign color and everything.
yeah.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Move
Make a
to
motion.
approve.
Okay, got a second? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Okay, that concludes all our cases. We will open it up for public comment. If someone has any concerns or anything about anything related to DHRC? Please state your name.
Zane White, District 6. Can you hear me okay? First, just a general question. I notice on the agenda, it says that the DHRC consists of 7 members appointed by the city council. Ex officio members are the planning manager, the historic preservation officer, and the building official. I presume that Aaron's filling in for the planning manager, but can we identify?
This is an opportunity for him to offer comment. It's not a time to answer questions. He's welcome to ask any of those questions after the public meeting.
Can answer those for you afterward.
Okay, well, seems a little unusual. I haven't run into this before. The last time I was here a year ago, there was an open dialogue. Can you cite me the specific protocol that says there's not dialogue allowed?
Again, that's not a comment, that is a question, and I'm happy to email you the Public Information Act and the Open Meetings Act if you would like. Do you have a comment for the board, Mr. White?
Oh, I've got plenty of comments.
All right, please make
Some of them
those.
are related to you, as a matter of fact. At that January 26th meeting of last year, that was when we had the round and round about the awnings, metal awnings at the Cactus Hotel. At the last council meeting, the council voted out of the 6 projects that were approved by you guys, after I spoke and pointed out some things, some questions, serious questions about irregularities that had gone on here from legal and from planning, as far as misinforming you guys about the rules. Council tabled it. I'm not sure what the procedure is on that now, whether it needs to come straight back to you guys or not, but definitely no metal awnings can replace the fabric awnings, period. Getting back in 2020, June of 2022, the city adopted the historic district downtown San Angelo, the historic overlay district. And when that happened, the rules bumped up a certain level from the previous that y'all had had since 2010, I believe. And according to those, the city, in spite of what City Attorney Teresa James answered to Mayor Gunter when she asked, Mayor Gunter said, so does the DHRC have authority to come in and override, basically, I'm not quoting directly, but the Interior Department guidelines for historic preservation? Teresa's answer was extremely dismissive and basically said, those are just guidelines. DHRC knows what they want for downtown San Angelo. They can do what they want. That's what happened. Mr. Pfluger was approved. It should go through. You guys can, I can spend my time. I will read 5 of the 10 required requirements regarding the historic buildings and their preservation. This is just 5 of the 10 required. Every reasonable effort shall be made to adopt the property in a manner which requires minimal alteration of the building structure, object, and site and its environment. Number 2, the distinguishing original qualities of character of a building, structure, object, or site and its environment shall not be destroyed. The removal or alteration of any historic material or distinctive architectural features should be avoided when possible. Number 3, all buildings, structures, objects, and sites shall be recognized as products of their own time. Alterations that have no historical basis and which seek to create an earlier experience shall be discouraged. There weren't any metal awnings in 1929. The next one is distinctive stylistic features or examples of skilled craftsmanship which characterize a building, structure, object, or site shall be kept where possible. The last one that I'm going to read you here is deteriorated architectural features shall be repaired rather than replaced wherever possible. In the event replacement is necessary, the new material should reflect the material being replaced in composition, design, color, texture, and other visual qualities. That means fabric awnings replaced with fabric awnings. You guys, I've said this before, at council meetings for the last 2 years, you guys have been consistently, and Tiers, and to some extent city council, have been manipulated, you've been lied to, you've been played by the legal department and planning. John James is no longer there, but for the 8 years, roughly, I believe it was, that he was there, you can go back through the DHRC records and you can see where questions were answered. And if you check that, if you double check those answers, they're just flat wrong. There was a lot of creative stuff. There was a lot of this, oh yeah, it's discretionary, like Teresa's trying to do now. Yeah, it's strictly discretionary. All this business of administrative approval, I don't know where that came from. I'll ask you for that, where the regulations are on that.
Please speak to the board. This is your comment to them, not to me. Thank you.
Well, I thought it was rude to talk about you and I'll look at you.
Hasn't stopped you for 2 years.
You're not okay with that? Okay. Gotcha. The bottom line is Lee Pfluger and the DHRC, virtually every project that he's had come before DHRC, you can go back and you can track inconsistencies, irregularities, misstatements, intentional or otherwise. Some of them are just through ignorance, I believe. through some of the lower level planning people regarding the rules and regulations. But it's gonna stop. This canopy deal was a scam. I'd like to know when you guys approved the ADA compliant security entrances, because that wasn't even on the agenda at that last meeting. The storefront painting was, but you guys didn't, to my recollection, that wasn't addressed either. It was just the canopies, and then the meeting was over shortly after that. So I'd like to see a DHRC report, staff report, that went ahead and gave the certificate of authentication for that project. I really doubt if there is one. If there is one, and you guys weren't involved, then that means it was done administratively, and that's getting back to what I'm talking about planning and legal, pushing this stuff through consistently.
Board Chair, typically, public comment is limited to 3 minutes, so I think that you have heard the gist of this comment, so if there's something else to be heard,
Okay,
otherwise I
and
think
we
you need to move
We need to
along.
wrap it up. Yep.
Okay. I'll be asking either you guys or legal where the authorization, the certificate of authenticity, is it? Certificate of approval came regarding the 3 full floors of windows that were replaced last year. I think it was about the middle of last year at the Cactus. Now, it's my understanding that should have come through the DHRC, and I didn't see any record of that. So I'd like to know who authorized that.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Does anybody else have any comments they'd like to express? Okay, we will move now to division report.
Thank you, Chairman. Aaron Vanoy, Interim Director of Planning and Development Services. I think I have some slides here that talk about the Art and Uncommon Places, and it is kind of a cooperative project that these pieces that they're going to put in the right-of-way, they're actually working through our Parks Department so that the city actually owns them and kind of maintains them and things like that. So it is in our downtown area, of course, District 3, Harry Thomas, CBD zoning it, and part of them go into the river corridor, and then there's that break right at Neff's Way, which is the alleyway there to the south of South Concho, and then it begins our historic district going north. So this here on the right, it's a concrete and glass kind of sculpture piece that they're going to place there where they have the new entrance to the ramp that gets down to the Riverwalk. They're just at the South Chadburn Bridge. They do plan on putting it, and they may correct me if I misstate it, but you kind of see the railing back there. They're going to kind of put it behind the railing or as close to the railing so it's not out in the way. But again, very nice sculpture piece. Here's 2 more sculpture pieces that you see the benches there on the right. They're going to kind of put those there. They're a metal wire, of course, a dog and a person, and so that'll be there in that area in the right-of-way. And then these are the black tie cowboys. They're going to be differing heights from all the way from 9 feet to 12 feet. They're built out of an architectural styrofoam, in which they probably can explain a lot better than I am. Or can. And they, of course, all have great cowboy hats on. None of the taco shell style cowboy hats, but they're all very natural things that they're going to be. And they're going to put these down at Tewig and Chadburn. And so each one of the corners at Tewig and Chadburn, so all the way around, they're going to work with the city engineer and Public Works on where exactly to place those, because they did have a significant investment on the stamped concrete, and so they're looking at the right place to place those for the long term. Then along here on this block of Chadburn, they're going to have another metal sculpture, and then these kind of I call them the mosaic tile kind of seats that are going to be up against that wall there, but they do just come into the right-of-way there just a little bit. They're going to be there on that block. With that, are there any questions about that? This is really just showing you what they're planning on doing. We think it's a great project, a great private-public partnership with them. to provide these art items down in our historic downtown and towards the Riverwalk, adding more amenities for our citizens, and so I think that's a great project. So just wanted to share those with you so that y'all knew. So when you see them pop up and you're like, well, we've never seen that. Well, I wanted to make sure you got to see them here. As Teresa did say, these will all go to city council on Tuesday for approval to where they can be placed and all that kind of stuff.
I think it's a great addition to downtown. I think it'll really ramp it up.
Yes, I think it will. And I don't know if you want to open up for public comment, if they have any other comments about this part of the art or not.
Does anybody have any? Yeah.
Are there any plans for that space between those two buildings? Years ago, someone talked about a pocket park there.
We have not seen any plans currently. It's still privately owned. I know there's been some discussions in the past, but we don't have anything currently that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it's just a big hole back there now.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And with that, I really don't have anything else for our division report. It does look like we will have a meeting next month. And I just want to say congratulations to Olga. That was her first presentation. I know she did a very good job, so we're very excited about that. So thank you, Olga, for doing that. And we look to see y'all back next month.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, the next regular meeting of the Design and Historic Review Commission is scheduled to begin on Thursday, March 21st, 2024 at 11 a.m. in the East Mezzanine Meeting Room of City Hall. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion? Adjourn?
Second? Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.